Hi all, this week I thought I'd try my hand at creating a very basic battle report. I'm playing X-Wing, which is a great game by Fantasy Flight. It's a rematch versus a fairly regular opponent, Dan, and the Salami Dumptruck, which is Horton Salm, or Salm, and a Y-Wing, and two other Y-Wings flying with him. So, I'm running Vader, Mauler Mythal, Howrunner, Backstabber, and a fourth tie, just a normal Obsidian Squadron Pilot. Dan was running Horton, Dutch Vander, and a Gold Squadron Pilot. He's packing lots of Proton torpedoes and ion cannons. Here we are set up. I'm pretty much pushing down the right flank with Backstabber over on the left. First turn, we basically went towards each other at full speed. Second turn, the Y-Wing started to turn in, and I misjudged a couple of my moves. Backstabber turned a little bit too hard to the right, but it was okay. And Vader managed to definitely get his move mixed up. Ended up having three Y-Wings lining him up for photon torpedo shots. He survived and managed to sneak out of it, although he lost all of his shields. Third turn was more about just trying to avoid him getting shot. Unfortunately, with the ion cannons, you pretty much can't. My TIE fighters started to try and come back together, and thanks to the combination of skills, managed to knock off most of his shields. Vader unfortunately did get hit by an ion cannon, so shuffled forward slowly. One good thing about that is because he knew where Vader was going to be, I had a pretty good idea where his Y-Wings were going to be. Unfortunately, with an ion cannon shooting you in the back and a Y-Wing doing the same thing, it was curtains for Vader. However, he did expend a lot of energy just knocking out one ship. The Y-Wings then tried to break off. With their ion cannons, they've got 360-degree arc of fire, so they can pretty much just not worry too much about having to keep you in the front. And did the round the outside maneuver. Horton, however, found himself right in the middle of a couple of TIE fighters, and at close range they managed to knock him out. The other two just kept heading round the outside, just firing their ion cannons. It was pretty easy to avoid their main guns, but once again the ion cannons did the business. It was a case of just trying to line my TIE fighters up to try and get a couple to shoot at one of them, but Dan had some great dice and just kept getting out of the way. Finally, I got one more of them down with a pretty good roll, as you can probably see there. Leaving Dutch as the last man standing. We both sort of broke apart to try and get a bit of distance. Then came back together for one last attack run. Dutch dropped my last character TIE fighter, but unfortunately for him, my Obsidian Squadron Pilot flew straight past, did a 180, and managed to get in the final fatal shots in the rear. And that was the end of it. I think my Obsidian Pilot had maybe 1 or 2 points of damage left on him, so he was lucky not to die, but it was still a really good game. Dan's learning some of the tricks for how to get the most out of the synergies from his Y-Wings, and I certainly forgot a few times as well. But it's nice to go now 1-1 against him. I think, though, my lack of spatial awareness, shall we say, when it comes to movement means I should look at probably playing Imperials more, where there are less fighters, and therefore you're less likely to fly into each other. Hope you enjoyed the battle report, and we'll try another one again soon.